The South Island of New Zealand is dominated by a mountain range running the length of the island. And in the shadow of New Zealand's southern Alps, across the Canterbury Plains, lies Christchurch City. Once famous for its English-style gardens, a devastating earthquake in 2012 changed the city forever. With billions of dollars spent on the rebuild, Christchurch is once again the gateway to New Zealand's scenic South Island, a winter wonderland offering plenty for the adventure junkies. While the city is crowded with bars and restaurants. This is the home of round 3 of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. This is Lone Star Rally of Canterbury. Hayden Patton made a one-off return from WRC duties and surprised the championship with a win, a rally win in the historic class of the Otago Rally to escort BDA. But with he and the USA Rally star Ken Block leaving New Zealand after Otago, the spotlight turns on Ben Hunt. He has a 7-point lead in the championship, but there's plenty of depth in the championship chase with the likes of Matt Summerfield eager to do well.
Hi everyone, I'm Matt Summerfield and we're here in Christchurch and this is my home rally. So for this rally we've updated the colour scheme for the car and it's looking pretty sharp and can't wait for everyone to see it out on the stages. After winning the power stage, the last stage of Otago, things are looking really good for us and I'm pretty confident that we can have a good result this weekend.
Ben Hunt has been the man to beat in 2015. Despite punctures slowing him at round 1, he's confident.
Last year we did get to a great start here and obviously would like to do that again, so we'll go out there in these first few stages at night time and have a bit of a push and hopefully we can get a bit of a comfortable lead for tomorrow.
Starting at 2 on the road, Phil Campbell, hoping improvements to his Mitsubishi will pay off.
The brakes have never been working as well as maybe I thought they could have, but we've just been wanting to drive around it and maybe thought that it was me, but yeah, we have found a slight problem and we've fixed that for this rally, so yeah, we're looking forward to seeing what happens now.
And I guess that's the effect of going into a four-wheel drive Group N car from a front-wheel drive car. You don't actually know how good it should go. Yeah,
that's right. It's definitely stops different than the Fiesta and better than the Fiesta ever did. But yeah, as I say, it hasn't been stopping as good as what it could, so it's going to be good now.
And Andrew Hawkswood hopes his problems are fixed in the Mazda too.
We spent a lot of time between the two rallies to sort it out. We shipped the car back to Auckland and I'm pretty confident we're on top of it now.
And do you think these forestry stages will suit the car?
Probably the faster stages of Otago would have been better. I mean, we've got a lot of power in this car now, but the gearbox isn't really what the gearbox configuration we have for this event. It doesn't really suit it. But looking at the roads today, I think that our biggest problem is probably going to be the dust.
Otago was a very disappointing event. Going out on the first stage was, it was a terrible way to be at our home event and not to get to the miles that we would have liked to have done. The car was handling awesome, the car was going great, so this weekend we're really focusing on getting a finish because the car's good and just need a bit of luck and get a good result. Because we had the gearbox apart after Otago, I always was struggling a little bit with getting the car off the line and also in slow junctions it definitely just balked down in first gear. So we've changed the ratios in first and second, which should just help in those junctions and off the start line.
With 2 night stages, the Canterbury Rally adds an extra challenge, which could be an advantage for Ben Hunt.
Love it at night time, if you work well with your co-driver and that, then apart from being pitch black, it all flows just as well and yeah, it's great fun.
Definitely not with the night stuff, but hopefully we've learned a little bit since last time. Must have been Daybreaker last year. We were probably a little bit quicker there than what we were at Canterbury last year. So we are getting better and we'll be looking to improve on that tonight as well.
So Ben Hunt will lead the cars away from Lone Star in Christchurch, heading north to the forest beyond Rangiora. Let's check out the B&T stage preview. Stage 1 Digger Link will also be run in daylight as special stage 6 on Saturday. It's 14.61 kilometres long through the Ashley Forest, features a ford and some tight hairpins. Conditions are dry, still, so dust could be an issue. Stage 2 Goodyear Auto. It's 29.27 kilometres. This could be a challenge if the dust remains an issue through the forestry roads. But there's a good layer of gravel, generally smooth and fast. So to the start of stage one, and the most important piece of the car for Ben Hunt over the next two stages will be the lights. Joining us now is rally expert Glenn Inkster.
And the crew don't get a lot of time to get the lights set up right. They'll set them up back at service and hope they get the right compromise between long distance viewing and short distance viewing, and of course lefts and rights, because the cars are not always straight. Often they'll slide, and it's important for the driver to also be able to see around the corner.
Next to his lights then, the notes must also be a key to winning at night time.
Committing to the pace notes is critical in every rally, but it's especially critical at night time to go fast. Ben does a good job of that. You don't get to see, you see lots of trees as he's off the road a little bit, but you don't get to see everything you'd normally see in the daytime, so committing to the notes critical.
Next up on the stage is Phil Campbell. And already dust being picked up by Ben Hunt. That's affecting his vision, Glenn.
It's very still. There's no wind blowing it away. The dust acts a little bit like fog sometimes does at night time. The lights reflect off it, and it's quite blinding. It's very, very hard to see and hard to fully commit to pace notes when you can't see anything at all.
You feel all right? Yeah?
Not really.
And another common issue at night, co-driver Venita Fabro is car sick.
Well, of course, in the car, they're not quite as confident as they normally are in the daytime. Phil's probably not driving the car quite as smoothly. There's more braking and jerking. She's obviously getting car sick, and then there's the tunnel vision. She can't see anything in her peripherals. It's all straight ahead, and obviously she's getting a little bit car sick. It's not an easy job. It's very, very difficult to co-drive at the best of times, especially difficult at night
I
time.
can do it without you.
Matt Summerfield lining up on a stage he knows so well. The car looks fantastic, but will the dust that's starting to build up be an issue?
Well, that's the thing. As each car goes by, more dust hangs in the air. And he just can't see where he's going.
Stage two seemed to have less dust.
This is heading down towards the end of Special Stage 2. Very, very fast section of road.
Oh, and he's lost it. Oh, big roll there for Summerfield.
Yeah, just coming down the straight here, and it's didn't make the right-hander, and basically when at the brakes I knew it was game over, so just a mistake on my part, and that's all there is to it.
Graham Featherston running fourth on the road. Consistent results had earned him a top 5 start position, but struggling in these difficult conditions as the dust continues to be a real problem. Fifth on the road, Brian Green, forced to struggle with engine problems, despite the dust as well. Emma Gilmore, first of the non-seated drivers, that DNF at Otago, meaning she's well down on points.
She's gone to the lower first gear. It certainly got off the line very, very well then. She did clip the limiter in first, so maybe she's just taking a little bit of time to get used to that, but this car's got a lot of potential.
But once again, some small issues cropping up here. First, the intercom had interference, then a handbrake stopped working.
For the handbrake to work properly, there needs to be a disengagement between the front and rear drive. Clearly that's not working properly, and it can be a bit of a distraction. And so can that. She's stalled. Sometimes refiring it when it's hot can take some time. And just look at the time disappearing.
Lance Williams had shown good pace this season despite a DNF on day one at Whangarei.
Lance has been improving a lot. Rallying's an experience game, and one way of getting experience quickly is to have a co-driver that's been there, done that. Look at the commitment on those pace notes.
High hopes too for Andrew Hawkswood after the team had spent 2 weeks trying to solve a persistent misfire. But despite posting a top 5 time on stage 1, he came to grief with dust on stage 2.
30, 6 left, 30, 6 left here, 30, Preston 6 right plus, 50.
Oh, I got caught in a bit of dust in there, and unfortunately went straight ahead somewhere I shouldn't have, and ended up in the ditch. So it's wrecked the radiator.
Darren Galbraith, competing for Class 5 honours, surprised everyone with his pace to be in the top 5.
These Class 5 older cars, they run a 36mm restrictor. It gives them a little bit more power, faster in the fast stuff, but still a very good job with a car with older technology.
Even more impressive, Max Bailey, 5th of the Fiesta. But an early exit for Hugh Spence, out after stage 1 with broken suspension in his Class 5 Subaru. And Brian Stokes, who's competed here since the early 80s, out after just 700 metres of stage 1. So at the end of stage 2, Ben Hunt with a minute lead over the competition. Phil Campbell also clear of 3rd, so it seems like the dust has been a problem.
Ben, we're used to you having great starts, but this is an exceptional lead after 2 stages.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Really stoked for that. The car went amazing in the first 2 stages, and hopefully we can just keep the car like that for the rest of the weekend. There's a challenge driving at night, and especially sweeping a road. I hadn't experienced that in the night before, so it was interesting, and I enjoyed it.
Another great start in this rally.
Yeah, it's an awesome first 2 stages for us. I think we're pretty lucky with our road position with not so much dust, because I know we were catching a lot of dust with Ben, and he was going faster than us, so it's only going to get worse for everyone behind, so it was a good start.
And some good news for Timaru's Darren Galbraith in service.
Yeah, we had a good run through there, a bit dusty in the first one, and we stopped in the last one just for Matt, who was upside down. But yeah, no, apart from that, we were going really good, so I'm quite happy with our pace.
So even though the results have you as being 4th, there's a little bit of hope you might end up 3rd tomorrow morning?
Yeah, we're just going to try and get our time back to where we're stopped for. Hopefully they can sort it out with the rally safe. And yeah, I mean, we had to stop. There was a car upside down and no one around it, so we didn't know if there was anyone in it or not. So yeah, better safe than sorry.
A little bit of a tricky start in the Suzuki.
Yeah, it wasn't the easiest start. We were catching a lot of dust. I think everyone, well, aside from Ben, everyone had a lot of dust. But it's quite hard to get into a rhythm when you keep getting into dust, and just a few other wee things like the handbrake wasn't working, but that's okay. And then we stalled, and I had to reset the computer, and just it was just messy. And then our intercom wasn't working at the end. So I learned from Otago not to get angry when you're catching dust. So I stayed very calm, and we're here, and it'll be a new day tomorrow. The car's feeling really good, in terms of it was just a whole lot of niggly wee things, and the intercom is just, unfortunately it's one of those things. They're really high revving cars and not a lot of sound deadening inside them, so it makes it really hard to hear, especially in the higher speed stuff.
Max Bailey happy with top 5, but realistic about keeping that in the daylight.
Yeah, we weren't really expecting that either. We sort of got to the end of the stages and thought, we were pushing through them, but it wasn't too raggy. So no, we look forward to tomorrow. We'll drop back a bit, no doubt, with the daylight and the other drivers being used to it. But yeah.
Coming up on the Lone Star Rally of Canterbury, back in daylight along with the dust, there's snow and ice to challenge the drivers.
We're here at the pre-start for Canterbury Rally. It's not as cold as we were expecting. What tyre compound the guys are going out at, that's a bit of a talking point. We see Ben Hunt's on a medium tyre. We noted Andrew Hawks has gone on a soft. The big difference is how fast the tyre will come in to make maximum grip. It's just how soft the rubber is, and early in the stage Andrew's certainly going to have an advantage, but whether that soft will stay good, that's what we're going to see, and whether the frost that's been hanging around is going to play a part.
3 stages make up the morning loop, starting with HDPS Stage 3. Just 4.7 kilometres, but icy, so caution required. Stage 4 BP Select, challenging 17 kilometres through the Okuku block of the forest. Dry, so will it be dusty, and also climbs a ridge. Stage 5, Dimmicks Road, well known to the locals. It's got a fast downhill run, but tightens near the end, and this is where there's still some snow and ice from the storm at the start of the week. Just another interesting challenge for the drivers.
Something right, 30.
So will the benefit of being first on the road actually be the same in daylight? Ben Hunt is about to find out.
Well, Ben had the advantage last night with no dust. This morning, he's a bit of a pioneer. He's going to find any really tricky and slippery places with ice and some snow, maybe. So maybe not the best of conditions for Ben this morning.
A minute down in time, so Phil Campbell will have to push Ben really hard here.
Phil's gone out on the soft Dunlop tyre, so he's going to be making grip straight from the start of the stage. And looking like he's making use of that grip.
Right, let's take a ride through the stage with both drivers side by side.
And this is really interesting. Just listen for the timing of the notes and also tiny little differences just to describe bits of road.
6 left minus 30, 7 left 30, tightens to 6, keeping into 3 right.
In the end, Campbell wins the stage by 2.6 seconds
6 left, 6 right, 60.
to claim his first ever championship stage win.
6 right.
And with Matt Summerfield and Emma Gilmore starting up the order, but already you can see the road starting to change.
This is a bit different. In the dry bits, she'll get more grip. The road's going to sweep. In the slushy bits, it's going to be a worse road.
Emma's a further 8.3 seconds down on Campbell here. Andrew Hawkes would rejoin. No chance of points except possibly picking up some power stage bonuses later in the day, but valuable stage time for the car, which still needs more testing.
6 left, tightens 5 plus, 80. Overheating, man. No, I wanted that. And 6 left plus.
And that's the result of the little crash they had last night.
So unfortunately forced to retire. Lance Williams, fourth on the stage, still holding fourth place, 22 seconds behind Galbraith. Max Bailey slipping to sixth behind Gilmore. Richard Bateman now second in Class 5 and 7th overall.
4 left.
But Brian Green lucky to get through the stage as the mud started to cause issues with grip. Daytime stages suiting Graham Featherston. He moved into the top 10 along with Dave Strong, who had fixed his engine issues from Otago. Third in class for Tyler Radovan, and that put him top of the class in the GRC, the Gold Rally Challenge. Stage 4 now, and what a contrast from the ice and the mud to dry, open and fast.
When there's not so many trees around, the road can dry out a little bit and the ice is not going to hang around as much. That's fast.
Ben Hunt flying through the stage with a time of 13 minutes, 46.5.
You also noted the co-drive speaking faster. It's more urgent. His tone rises with the pace of the car.
So on this stage, the answer is speed, right, Glenn?
Yeah, it's all about carrying speed everywhere, but that first stage was a lot tighter and this is just flat out good wide open forestry stuff.
Phil faster again by 4.5 seconds.
That's a good start this morning. He's fast. He's just carrying so much pace downhill, and that's really, really tricky. Easy to go fast uphill, but to carry so much speed down this hill, good job.
Also impressive, Darren Galbraith. He likes the fast road, suited to this one, third fastest. Next up, Emma Gilmore.
It's a little short wheelbase Suzuki, and that snapped quite fast then. She's really got to be on her game to keep this thing going. Plenty of power though.
Emma Gilmore spun early in the stage but recovered to keep her in 5th place. Lance Williams just under a second behind Galbraith on the stage, so holding on to 4th.
Don't go wide. That's this one here. Whoa, don't go wide. You all right? 60, no, fine, mate. Late tightening, 3 left, cut late. Late tightening, 3 right, cut late. Got that one wrong, just to push her off.
Good to see a bit of humour in that car.
30 to a 5 left plus and 5 right.
Graham Featherston making further progress, moving up another position. But still 23 seconds behind Max Bailey, who was holding on to 6th in the Fiesta. Marcus van Klink leading a small field of historics. He was 9th overall after 4 stages, but probably the busiest driver on the stage. Just look at that hand movement.
4 right and long 4 left. 4 right here. Yep. Long 4 left, next one. 4 left, clingy. 5 right. 18, 50.
Certainly keeps him busy.
Stage 5, Palmside, 13 kilometres, a great stage. Top of the road here, dry and dusty, but a lot of gravel to contend with later on, Glenn.
Keeping 4 right plus.
Yeah, well, Ben's going to sweep a lot of that away, so in this case, those behind him are going to have an advantage, but Ben does have a big lead, and he's used to these conditions as well.
Short 5 left minus into long 4 right. 180.
But now check this out, near the end of the stage, the road runs in the shade on the hillside, so there's a lot more significant ice and snow ahead.
Slippery 5 right minus. Slippery 4 left.
It's hard to
plus,
believe it's the same road we're on
slippery
before.
long 4 right.
It's just so slippery.
Slippery
Let's
long
compare
4
the
right.
2 drivers side by side, how they handle these conditions.
Clear 180.
The time is Hunt, who wins the stage by 2.4 seconds. Behind them, Emma Gilmore, Lance Williams battling for 4th place. 2 very different modern-day rally cars, Glenn.
Well, the Subaru's just got 20 years of development. It's such a refined package. Emma's car, new rules, based more on WRC, but they don't have the miles in this car. It gets its speed down the straights, but not quite as refined in the corners.
Lance 34 seconds faster than Emma on the stage, but not without his moments.
Good. Another 5 left minus here.
Oh.
60.
Oh man, I'm going to go back there and thank that bank.
Classic stuff, and spectacular effort too by Darren Galbraith. 12 seconds down on Hunt. Featherston slowly reining in the little Fiesta of Max Bailey, but Bailey had his foot down and wasn't giving in easily. Richard Bateman coming under pressure for his 2nd place in Class 5. Tyler Radovan had taken 10 seconds out of his time on the stages 4 and 5. A small historic field at Canterbury, Tony Gosling's Escort and Andy Martin's Mazda RX3 swapping stage times through the morning. But with his extra power, the RX7 of Van Klink easily held on to the lead of 1 minute 27 to Gosling.
Then 50, caution, long 5 right minus, don't go wide. Caution, long 5 right minus here, don't go wide. 5 left, keep it in. 5 left, 150.
So not much change at the top. Hunt still with a minute lead over Campbell. Then Galbraith, Williams, Gilmore and Max Bailey holding on to 6th as they head to Vin's Service Park at Rangiora, just south of the forests.
Been a big lead overnight, but Phil's got a couple of stages off you this morning.
Yeah, you know, that's fantastic for Phil, and hopefully it gives him a bit of confidence that he knows he can go out there and win a few stages. So, you know, the plan was you get quite a good lead at the night, and then these 8 stages today we can go out there and sit at a comfortable speed.
Phil, a fast start to the morning with 2 stage wins.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think that might be the first time we've won an NZRC stage overall, so we're pretty happy with that. We put some soft tyres on the car this morning, and I think that was obviously the right thing to do. It really helped us out.
It's quite frosty on foot, so you think the soft tyres gave you a lot of grip?
Yeah, I think so, and the ground temperature's way down on what it has been at all the other rallies, so it's probably the first time we've used softs, but yeah, it definitely worked. We've got a few things to sort out. Everything was fine in the stages, but the gearbox wasn't quite doing what it was meant to, just touring back, so they're just going to have a look into that now and make sure we're good to go back out this afternoon.
A precautionary brake bleed on Darren Galbraith's car, but it's been a trouble-free morning.
The roads sort of, I like these roads and the fast nature of them, so it sort of suits the car and the top end speed of this car. So yeah, I find the car suits it really well.
And more positives for Emma Gilmore.
just in general.
This morning was just, I suppose, getting into the groove again, and it was nice being able to see our intercom was working as well, which definitely helped. Had a spin in the second stage and just struggling a little bit with confidence coming down the hills, and just 2 and 3 times braking rather than just doing it nice once, and yeah.
Stick around, coming up, problems on stages for 2 drivers, and it's a shuffle at the top 5. Stage 6 breeder safety was a combination of both night stages, creating a monster 45-kilometre test. The road will be swept after the night stages, so once again an advantage for Ben Hunt.
Well, last night dust was a problem. Ben's certainly going to have a clear run. Let's just hope the others get through without too much dust as well. But
Hunt sets the pace at 27 minutes 48.6. Phil Campbell, though, had major issues on the stage.
Come on, give us a gear, come on.
well, those problems at service, it looks like it's holding them up now on the stage quite a lot.
5 right plus.
He did get going, but not all the gears are still working properly.
4 crease, 5 right plus.
Well, Phil's obviously just trying to use the 1 gear and carry as much speed as he can.
Problems too for Emma Gilmore with their car stalling on slow corners. And a small error by Lance Williams, leading to a major penalty in this stage.
10 to a 2 right injunction. Left can 10 to 2 right injunction. 250 rough. And a big hole right there. Long 5 left minus.
And you can just hear the tyre rubbing now. He's obviously got a puncher.
So it's a long 5 left minus.
And all this is good news for Timaru's Darren Galbraith, who now claims 2nd place in the rally. Graham Featherston also getting past Bailey here to move into 5th. And 5th fastest time on the stage moves Dave Strong up into the top 10. Marcus Van Klink also fast on this stage, and that would move him to 8th overall.
Into short, 6 right, into 4 left. Here's 4 left, 5 right, 7 left minus.
We're getting used to these 2-wheel drive cars getting really good results overall.
So Hunt still leads, but Campbell now down to 3rd, Gilmore 4th, but that puncture proving very costly for Lance Williams.
Well, today in the last stage we've had a bit of a minor issue, which turned out to be quite big. We thought it was just a puncture, but we ended up with a lot of debris from the tyre wrapped all around the hub, which we couldn't get off very fast, which came from a broken rim.
And a big hole right there.
And inside a tyre there's heaps of wire which holds it together and stops it from getting punctures, but this time the rim broke and ripped it all apart, so it wrapped all around the suspension, broke a few of our brake lines and did quite a bit of damage, and it took quite a bit for us to get it off and get back into the race.
And Phil Campbell's crew working really hard here to keep him going and keep him in the rally.
We had it touring coming into the last service and we thought we'd fixed it, but no, nothing there. Sometimes it would select the gear and sometimes it wouldn't, so we ended up having it in 3rd gear for the whole of that long stage, and yeah, lost quite a bit of time. But the boys just had the welder out now and it looks like they've got it sorted, so hopefully it's all good and we'll have another go this afternoon.
A chance too to catch up with veteran NZRC campaigner Dave Strong at the Vin Service Park. Problems at Otago had left Dave despondent.
Yeah, I think what actually happened, it was jammed in gear at Whangarei, and as we dragged it onto the trailer, it's jumped a tooth on the cam timing, and that's actually what's happened. It's retarded.
Contributing to that, an exhaust muffler imploded, robbing the car of power.
It's marvellous. Another 100 horsepower. It's really good. I'm having to learn the car again because Dunedin I reverted back to the old no power, left foot braking, all of that. So I'm learning how to drive short shift and It might sound odd, but the car's completely different. It's just on too much throttle, it just oversteers. So you got a short shift and then feel the road and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So.
Back to the forest and stage 7, a repeat of stage 3, just 4.65 kilometres. Ben Hunt able to relax with a good lead after everyone's problems.
Now, with such a big lead, he's really got to focus on not making any mistakes and driving still at a pace that's quick enough to maintain the concentration.
Slippy 6 left, 30, hug long 4 right.
But while Phil Campbell is pushing hard, the gearbox issue seems to still be causing problems.
6 left minus, 5 right plus. 5 left into caution, slippy 4 right plus.
Third on the road, Emma Gilmore, finding that even at this stage the surface can be very slippy.
Especially here where there's no sun. Bit slushy. That car's keeping her busy.
6 left, entry. 6 left, very long.
Although he was never going to make up the 6 minutes lost from the puncture, Lance Williams won the stage and at least moved back into the top 10 here.
4 right plus and 5 left minus, don't cut. And 4 right.
Darren Galbraith now in a comfortable second place. Dave Strong continuing to post competitive stage times, moving up to 7th.
4 left plus, don't
But Brian Green very lucky not to get stuck. Unbelievably in the same hole he nearly went into in the morning.
4 left, again, foot in, foot in, foot in. 60.
It was a very slippery one in the first stage of the loop, and the first time around today we nearly ended up in the big hole. The second time around I think the back of the car did end up in the hole, but we managed to bounce out and carry on. But I didn't realise you blokes were there, that's for sure.
And did you realise just how big that hole was?
We had a good look at it first time this morning, and if we'd got in there we wouldn't have got out, that's for sure.
Max Bailey still in 6th, but now under pressure from Strong. While Darren Galbraith easily leads Class 5, the Gold Rally Challenge, Richard Bateman had struck problems when his rear diff mounts broke, so he was cruising to the finish. Tyler Radovan now in a position to lead the class in points if he held on to his 7th place. Stage 8 auto parts. It's a repeat of stage 4, but still a bit icy in some places.
Junction, don't go wide. IC 5 right and to keep in 4 left.
That's a big moment for someone leading by so much.
15.
So Hunt 23 seconds faster through the stage down the morning.
And that's more like it, Ben, looking after the car with such a big lead.
Phil Campbell finding enough gears to keep pace though. His time just 0.8 slower despite more dust on the stage.
Now here we are on the same bit of road. Look how clear it is for Ben, and look at this dust.
Emma Gilmore taking a more conservative approach at the Ford, holding on to 4th. Lance Williams running out of stages to move up from 10th place despite being 3rd fastest here.
Ford, rough to a long 4 right plus. Wipers. 5 left plus.
Galbraith also pushing hard despite being over a minute clear in 2nd place. Stage 9, Universal Plumbing, a 13-kilometre repeat of Stage 5, and the snow has not melted, leaving a slippery, icy section, which needs a bit of care.
And adapting to these different conditions, it's amazing to think that's the same bit of road, the same stage. Ridiculously slippery in some places, and plenty of grip in others.
Again, Phil Campbell finding all the right gears on the stage.
5 left, tightens to 4, don't go wide.
Great view of the Canterbury Plains there, and Lance Williams again pushing hard, moving up one more place.
It's been entertaining on board from this pair this rally.
4 left plus opens.
Graham Featherston also getting faster, tying with Emma Gilmore on the stage. Marcus Van Klink still leading the Historics, but the road conditions have been hard on the tyres.
Long 5 right minus, tyres are probably not much left. Long 5 right minus, 80.
And this is a big, powerful rear-wheel drive car. It's a lot of power to put through 2 tyres at the back of the car, abrasive rocks.
Tony Gosling enjoying his day out in the BDA Escort. This is the car he loaned to Hayden Paddon, so it's got a good setup. Gosling second in the class, but having a day-long battle with the RX3 of Andy Barton.
It's really neat to see an RX3 on the stages. It's a lot harder to get parts than an Escort, and it's really good that he gets out there and drives it so hard.
So with just a power stage to run, Ben Hunt with a massive advantage. Phil Campbell still holding on to 3rd place. Coming up, the power stage on Ashley Forest's most famous road. Rally of Canterbury. He may have retired from V8 supercars, but Greg Murphy took the opportunity to get some rally stages under his belt in Tony Gosling's cool Mark 1 Escort. Unfortunately, his rally came to an early finish with engine issues on stage 5, but Murph reckons the gravel was pretty addictive. Power stage time, stage 10 rubber developments, a cracker, 19 kilometres. Mount Grey Road is super fast. It has, of course, the famous Ashley Forest Rally Sprint as its finish. And there was no doubt that Ben Hunt was going to win the rally by this stage. His form had been perfect all day. So let's go for a wild ride on this iconic New Zealand rally road as he attempts to take maximum points in the power stage.
Ben really has become the pace setter in the NZRC. This is a fantastic section of road.
Keep in 6, right, believe, opens 30, centre a small crest.
That's fast. That believe comment, that's all about the co-driver confirming that it is what he's telling him it's going to be.
Flat long 7 left, centre of long small crest.
And now down the last section of Ashley Forest, through the dipper, and flat out through the finish.
Long 6 right into 7
10 minutes, 39.7.
Good stage.
You did bolt on the new tyres to try and do a good time to get those bonus points?
Yeah, Dad said to me, a set of tyres versus getting a puncture or, dropping back in the rally. So took the old boy's advice and here we are.
Unfortunately for Phil Campbell, he was back to 2 gears, 2nd and 4th.
He's done a great job managing this car with just 2 gears. He's holding on to 2nd a lot longer, then trying to get 4th. This is the rev limiter in 4th. He'd ideally want to go for 5th, but that's all he's got is 4th gear. And great times.
Not as fast as we would have liked through there, but what do you do? We're happy enough. As long as we stay 40 seconds or we'll stay ahead of Emma, we're happy.
And a problem with the rear diff meant that Emma Gilmore was unable to challenge Campbell and would have to settle for 4th.
And take a look at the crowd. They know where to go. That's the top hairpin at Ashley Forest Rally Sprint.
Right, 4 left at the bottom. 30. And narrow long 6 right, tightens up. 6 left.
She's obviously struggling with that car.
Early on in the stage, I thought it was a flat tyre, and then I don't know if it's done a drive shaft or something. It's like it's pulling out on certain corners, so I was pretty cautious down all the high-speed stuff at the end. So a bit disappointing of a way to finish, but yeah, it's a finish.
Lance Williams also pushing hard to make up 1 more place, but with only a minute between cars, he's catching him as dust.
5 left minus, don't cut, don't go wide. long 6 right.
And when you're in the dust, that's when you really got to trust those notes.
Long 6 right, keep in, keep in, keep in. That's it.
And that's over 160 kilometres an hour.
Great finish too for Darren Galbraith, second overall and first in class.
Fantastic result for the overall rally. Well done.
Yeah, Rocky's been awesome on the notes, especially after Otago and that. We've just got better and better writing our notes. So, no, thanks very much to him. It was awesome, This car suits this sort of fast stuff, and I like the fast stuff, so it's a good combination.
Graham Featherston taking the final power stage point, securing 5th overall. So the top 3 in the power stage, it's Hunt, Williams and Galbraith. Max Bailey just missing out on the points in the Fiesta. But Bailey gets his 2-wheel drive championship back in line, a great 6th outright. Dave Strong, 6th in Class 1. Car and driver now back in tune with each other on the stages. No more near misses for Brian Green, finishing 7th in Class 1. Tyler Radovan overcoming issues to finish 2nd in Class 5, now leading the Gold Rally Challenge. Richard Bateman surviving to limp home and hold on to 2nd in the challenge. Tony Gosling moving up 2 places overall would finish in the top 10 and 2nd in the historic class, while Andy Martin taking the final spot in his Mazda. Marcus Van Klink cruising to victory in the historics. So the final result in the Lone Star Rally of Canterbury, victory goes to Ben Hunt. Great drive by Darren Galbraith in 2nd, and a gutsy performance by Phil Campbell to bring home the Ailing car in 3rd. And the points table sees Ben Hunt with 96. Campbell in touch though, just 12 back. Van Klink and Green tied for 5th, showing that a good finish record pays dividends. Next up, it's Fuchs Oil Rally Gisborne and the return of the mighty Motu stage to the NZRC.